is not your kids, not your spouse, not your significant other's fault. They don't deserve that energy.
Welcome to the Love Is Podcast with your host, that thorny chick, Karen KK Rose, and her co-host, the lovable a-hole, that's right, I said lovable, Mr. DK Walker, where they will be discussing love, relationships, family, life, sex, self-help, and what it takes to be a successful entrepreneur. Why? Because love is everything, and everything should be loved. Now to today's podcast.
Hello, everyone. It's your girl. It's that thorny chick, Karen KK Rose, alongside my co-host, the lovable asshole, DK Walker. DK Walker, tell the people.
Yes. Man, what's going on, people? How's it going? How's life treating you? How are you maintaining? How are you sustaining in COVID-19 and all things related?
Wow. I almost feel like you practiced that.
I didn't. That was all off top of the dome. Like, that's, yeah, I wanted to be a rapper back in 80 something. So that was sometime I'll be freestyling what I'm going to say. I tried my best to,
Back in 80 something when I was making my appearance.
What? What'd you say?
I said back in 80 something when I was making my first appearance.
Yeah, exactly. Respect my gangster. Respect your elders is what you did. God damn it. Young whippersnappers with their opinions and they want to cancel something. You bunch of young whippersnappers.
Listen, we're trying to make the world a better place. That's all. We're trying to do what our parents and grandparents and great-grandparents can't do. Listen.
Whoa. Podcasters, the reviews reflected by my co-host reflected by her alone. I did not say that bullshit. Did you? Did you just say that what our parents and grandparents couldn't do? If it wasn't for said parents, if it wasn't for said grandparent, you young whippersnappers, young know-nothings would not be in position to carry on what we started. But you digress.
I did. That's all I said. And then you came back.
You don't think you owe an apology to the people that paved the way for you to even have the doggone freedoms to get on the microphone and have an opinion with your two shiny pennies?
No, I'm absolutely 100% respectful of it. I understand that, women had to march for me to vote. Harriet Tubman had to lead people out of slavery for me to be able to live the life that I live. I'm completely respectful. But there's always going to be a but. But I feel like there were things that we can do better. You could always be retrospective and see that.
It's called being a Monday morning quarterback. Like people see a situation like, I could have did ABC, do it better, right? Mm-hmm. But what happens is it's kind of hard to say what you could have done in said situation. It's easy to predict what you would do when you don't have the pressure and threat of death looming over your head. It's real easy. We could have done if they couldn't hit me with that whip. Like what? First of all, you've never been hit with a whip unless you're a freak. I got my hand up. Riding crop. It's quite all right.
Super freak. He's super freaky.
But it's exactly. But it's easy for so it's cool. Like we're not going to dwell on Kern's mishap or misspeak. I assure you that she respects the people that came before her.
Absolutely.
And she didn't mean any ill intentions, talking about they didn't get the job done when they actually started the process. It's up to the younger generation to continue said process.
Better always follow. My kids will do it better than I did, and I'm okay with saying that.
Hold on, see, I got a problem with that. Now, because you still got the jab out, and I keep I got a bid, but I get the better doesn't always follow, right? Because I'm the last. It wasn't nothing behind me. No, would you? Anyway, I was the last of my mother's sons. So the best, she saved the best for last.
Listen, what ain't got nothing to do with the other?
Coming behind, you can wait. You can wait on it like
is better behind you.
Woo!
MJ, duh.
Oh, please. She can only hope to partially fill her father's shoes.
Better always follows. Better always follows.
You shitting me? Nah, I take that back. My baby, please, she's only 10 and she got me beat by leaps and bounds as we speak. Leaps and bounds, she has me beat in pretty much all aspects. So I will give you that. Not a problem.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
It's the least
Any
I
new
can do.
COVID experiences that we should know about? Last week I got to roast you about your pedicure. I have not done anything. You'd be very surprised. I need to make some appointments though.
Pardon me. So, you said, well, yeah. So what happened was I went and got my feet done. But unlike my beautiful co-host, she does her stuff out of vanity's sake, and then as though I'm okay by night. I'm the lovable asshole DK Walker. The Love Is podcast being brought to you by, right? That's who I am by night. But by day, I am your neighborhood friendly trash man. So I got to get my feet done, to preserve these dogs, since I'm running behind a trash truck on them. So that's the reason why. So it was more so out of necessity sake than vanity sake. Say again?
Because me wearing Nikes every day to work, that's not occupational hazard too.
Oh, what do you mean? Are they comfortable? If they're not comfortable, that's your fault. Get some shoes, get some Crocs.
Oh no, them joints are definitely comfortable. I'm actually leaning. I have 5 pairs. I bought 5 pairs of Nikes for work as I've worked there since October. I probably bought a new pair once a month, bought 2 at Christmas. There's one pair I wear more than any other pair just because I love that pair the most.
So are they that comfortable, or did you actually buy the multitude of shoes to go with your smocks?
My smocks? You mean my scrubs?
Smock scrubs, yeah. The shit to make all women different. Yeah, I apologize. The shit to make all women look like they have flat asses. So did you buy them to match?
Lord, the medical.
She cute. What the hell happened to her ass? It just be the clothing that she wears.
The medical field
what?
Just hit pause. I can't with you. Listen, scrubs are not made to make anybody look good. They're just clothes that you put on, and they're paper thin.
Okay, so therefore you think the ass would be more pronounced. You would think of their paper thin, right?
No, that would be if a man actually, designed them. I don't know who made the scrub design. It's got to be somebody who could barely draw.
Well, I'm pretty sure they're designed that way for its functionality.
Oh, so having a flat ass is the functionality of.
Well, think about it, right? So you're it's easy to focus on task at hand if you're not because sometimes when a nurse comes in, she takes your temperature, she does all the prep work before the doctor comes in, right? And so it's easier to stay focused at the fact that you're there because you're sick, you have some type of ailment. But if she come in and then her doggone scrubs, let me get that correct this time. If the scrubs are nice fitting, I ain't even sick no more. What's your name? How you doing? As you sit there about to pass out.
Listen, if you think those flat ass scrubs is stopping a player from shooting his shot, you are sadly mistaken.
So are you speaking from experience? Right. So when they shot,
terrible as them things look and are, that don't stop nobody from doing nothing. If they gonna shoot their shot, they gonna shoot their shot.
Okay, but although it makes women's ass look like cardboard, but if you're top heavy or you have a nice rack, it does nothing. It's nothing you can do to downplay the girls.
Well, me and the twins, have been together since the 6th grade, so I guess thank God for being blessed up top versus being blessed on the bottom.
Yeah, well, it is what it is.
It's a struggle.
Anywho,
every woman has their different struggle. Anywho, we are moving on to dun 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 dun. My favorite part, what the fuck news? Now, this one it's not a doozy. It's not. But it's definitely interesting.
Okay.
It's definitely interesting. So, so this is how it goes. The title of it is, I suddenly realized how disgusting sex is with my husband. Shaggy is correct. So, a woman wrote into a sex column, and he shared the story. And so the woman says, I've been married to my husband for about 8 years. We're in our mid-30s. We have a good relationship. We're happy. We communicate well. We're good partners, good co-parents. We have 3 young children. She said, but on to the obvious. She said, sex has started to gross me out. I can't explain it. It just seems so nasty. It really isn't an issue of mismatched libidos. His is slightly higher than mine, but we've always seemed to be able to compromise. I still get horny and sometimes masturbate on my own a few times a week, which he doesn't know about. So, which leads me back to your first part. I'll come back. Let me finish this. We have sex about once or twice a week. He always finishes and I'm usually able to, but I can't get out of my head what we're doing. That it's gross, nasty, and sticky. I haven't had this problem with any other partners, but I've never been in a longer relationship than what I'm in right now. Of course, I'm at a different time in my life. The kid's a full-fledged career. My feelings limit the amount of sex we have, and it makes me feel sad and ashamed. I can't move past this. I want us to live our best sex life. I also find it embarrassing that I feel this way. I'm not being bored. I'm not some boring prude. I just can't get past this.
She said it was disgusting, which is interesting to say the least. You know, you would think disgusting sex would be having sex with a crackhead. You would think that disgusting sex would be having sex with a homeless person. But sex with your husband, I mean, it's definitely a mental thing, right? You know, because assuming for assumption's sake, we're going to assume that, you know, he has good hygiene, right? And then physically she's still attracted to him. So, you know, what she's going through, because I'm nobody's therapist. I have a degree in bullshitology 101, but that's it. So, but it's plain to see that, you know, this crisis, I won't call it a midlife crisis because she's only in her 30s, but whatever, you know, this mid or pre-midlife crisis she's going through is definitely mental. And she needs to, you know, get counseling, seek help, because that's not necessarily normal, because, you know, the stickiness and the nastiness, you know, is the most enjoyable part of sex. Like when you hit it and that joint wet, like, oh, you be like, okay, so like this goes back to the bullshit of just let me slide the head, and it's impossible just to put the head of your penis in the vagina. It's like as soon as it's gonna keep going. Like the wetter it is, you like, heaven must be like this. So I'm not sure what old girl is going through, but you know, we're gonna pray for her.
But here's the part that I call bullshit on, because we all know I'm good for it. But here's the thing I don't understand. You say y'all got matched libido, but yet you masturbating, and he don't know. So no, you can't, because you're clearly being hornier than he is, or you just avoiding sex. Because I'm like, wait a minute. If my significant other is here, what the hell am I masturbating for? Unless he's watching. Now that's a whole different ballgame. That's a whole different podcast. That's a whole different What the Fuck News channel. Like that's a whole different.
Where's the popcorn? Hey, bring up the toys. Where's the popcorn?
Right. Like if you about to make this an experience, that's a whole different thing. But you off somewhere. You done got home from work. You done rubbed one out in the shower, and he don't know because he playing with the kids. Because she says I masturbate on my own a few times a week, which she doesn't know about. So clearly, you ain't got right.
So and okay, you know, think about it, right? Because I am married, and I can't speak for all married. I won't pull a Steve Harvey and I say that often enough. I can't speak for all married men, but when we do rub one out, jerk one off, like, you know, paint the bathroom walls, whatever the case may be, 9 times out of 10 we're not masturbating to or about our significant other, right? So it's safe to say that she's not masturbating about, like, he's not the cause of her getting off. So not only is she finding sex with him, you know, grotesque, you know, she sounds like she's detached from, you know, being attracted to him. This is interesting.
Because she said they only have sex once or twice a week. So
Definitely
I'm like, wait a minute, none of this adds up anymore. Because I'm like, wait, you over here masturbating, you find sex with him disgusting, and yet you only have sex twice a week. Okay, so twice a week, you still got 5 days. So in those 5 days, you busting it wide open in the shower, wherever she done found a place to go knock one out.
Okay. Well, you know, like I said, it definitely has to be, you know, a psychological thing. It has to be like, you just don't go from, you know, lukewarm. Oh, you don't go to hot to cold. You got to have it has to be in between there. You just don't go from one extreme to the next is what I'm trying to say. I don't know, man. That's crazy. Like it like you say that bullshit it just don't add up. And something, but okay, so let me play devil's advocate and let me give her a benefit of the doubt. Maybe, just maybe, you know, people do fall out of love, right? That happens. Like we fall out of love. We don't plan for it. We just, the vibe is, you just start vibrating in a different way. And so the vibe that you fell in love with, it just ain't shaking you no more. So therefore, that being said, it's possible to fall out of being physically attracted to somebody and then their mere touch repulses you. It's possible.
Listen, I don't subscribe to the whole fall in and out of love because I feel like that's just a way out. And I've said this before and I'll say it again.
Okay, I'm going to let you rock. I'll go ahead.
Because my whole thing is either you love somebody or you don't. I don't believe in falling in or you fall out, because I feel like if you fall into love, then you you're subconsciously giving yourself a way to fall out of love, because that's just how we term it.
Okay, so is that what you believe?
I'm so in love. Okay, so you love that person. Either you love that person or you don't. It's just the end all to be all. And is there a place though that you can be with somebody and love them and not be with them? Absolutely. We have all at this point in life, you should be at a point where you can say love isn't enough.
Oh, for sure. But okay, so this is where I'm gonna go. I don't agree with your disagreement. Because what happens is 9 times out of 10, when you do get into a person, you meet their representative. You meet who they're bringing to the table. Like this is, and of course the representative is damn near perfect. Like the representative is batting almost 1,000. Like it gets like home run after home run, perfect conversation. They laugh at your corny jokes. They're, they just touch all the right buttons, and you stuck in la la land. Like, oh God, she's the one. But that's not even really who you dating. It's just, who she and definitely he who they're pretending to be. Fast forward on with your relationship, and what happens is the person that you met is not the person that you're now in a relationship with. So that's how you fall out of love. Like, oh, what happened to that motherfucker that laughs at all my corny jokes? Or what happened to that considerate guy that would actually look me in my eye and not not at my chest as I talk to him about my day, So like it's possible that for me, my understanding, I'm not trying to change your mind, but I do believe that you can fall out of love. Like you can be in, you can love a person and not be in love. Like I love you, but we like that you lost that love and feeling. Yeah, it's possible. What? I can't sing?
I didn't even say a word.
But you got real quiet, like, you like I hurt your feelings.
No, maybe my ears, but not my feelings.
You lost that love and feeling. I was gone. Whoa.
So terrible that this is what our podcast has come down to.
No. Right about now, I don't know if they're laughing with and or at me.
With.
No, they can laugh at me. It's cool. I promise you, they can definitely laugh at me. What our listeners are getting, they're getting us in our most because we feel this comfortable, right? So if you go back and listen to our first podcast, and you bring it to this one, you be like, oh, they've grown, or they're more giving of themselves. So anyway, back to the what the fuck news, bringing it all the way back. That's interesting. I wish there was more to the story. I wish we had more to, chop up. But I don't know. Maybe he just don't do it for her no more. And it's possible.
And that's possible. You're right. But at the end of the day, it's what we always say. Like, you got to have those adult conversations. Like, if he ain't looking it right, he ain't stroking it right, he ain't doing it right. Listen, there's a conversation. Listen, I can't talk for she. Because I don't date women. That's just not my shtick. I don't judge.
Right. What? I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm going to be quiet.
So my thing is, if he ain't doing it right, then say something.
True. But in the same token, like,
you know how hard. Edges and go get his feet done. Tell him.
But do you know how hard it is for some, not all people, to have that? That's a hard conversation to have, to say you're just not pleasing me, or that I just don't want to do that with
then
you
anymore. Don't want to have sex.
Right. And so what happens from that is, so am I losing you? And now so the doors, think about it. She said she has kids. I'm assuming they have a house. So we're talking mortgage. We're talking about, family unit, right? Mm-hmm. So now once you tell him that I'm no longer attracted to you to have sex, then a man's going to hear that as, you don't want to be with me because we're primal. Like y'all give us too much credit. I promise you, we'll level up from being a Neanderthal, right? So he'll hear that and be like, oh, you don't love me no more. And she like, I didn't say that. I just said that, right about now, just sex is hard for me having it with you. And all he's going to hear is, you don't love me anymore. And there's nothing she can say after that to fix what she said, because our egos are so fragile. Ball game.
Listen, now you done told the playbook.
I mean, somebody gonna kill me one day. You talk too much. You didn't give up so much. It is what it is.
Gave up the playbook.
But that's just common sense 101. Like, that's just, you can't, like, certain things that's what makes those type conversations so hard to have, because there's so much underlying issues with that type of conversation. Because a man's going to perceive one way when she's saying, like, I'm not saying I'm so in love with you, but there's something wrong. And I think that's the one instance she can honestly say, it's not you, it's me. Because they was having sex before, because they got kids, right? So they've done to do successfully.
But that doesn't mean that they were having multiple rounds of sex to get pregnant. I mean, you just need it one time. Health class 101. You just need to have sex one time.
I flunked that. I flunked.
Jesus.
I didn't. Right. I went to a DC public school. I don't even think they gave us sex. They showed a porn tape and told us, like, take notes. I digress. It was the best. It was the best of Vanessa Del Rey.
Listen, somebody with that 1970 mustache. Oh Lord, some shag carpet.
That porn stash.
Yes.
Yes, I got you.
Oh Lord.
Looking like a beat cop. No, my
Listen,
bad.
and you
That
know
porn.
the only part that throws me off in my head is the doggone music, because the music in it probably.
Waka 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 waka. And the music. And
Listen, you waiting
and the music
for
and the
Honey Bear to come down the steps of this platform
exactly
in the with the goldfish.
goldfish.
You already know.
So let me ask you, why did the waka 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 actually match the stroke of the dude? Like, if you think, like, what you think about it?
That's awful. That's awful.
Waka 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 waka.
I quit. If y'all have never gotten the full-fledged DK and KK, that right there, that's it. That is it. Right. If I eat and listen, and then but the part that listeners don't understand is that your petty behind go on YouTube or something and send me just that sound and put
exactly.
it on, and I'm gonna be traumatized for 2 days. 2 days.
Now make it my ringtone. That's what you do.
And listen, and then let it ring in public. Be like, why is it? Listen, 70s porn. That's all I got for y'all. 70s porn. That's all I got. So in other internet news, I saw this meme, and you and I have discussed it. Why?
Hold
I'm stuck in your head. It's stuck in your head. And I see I'm trying to be mature and get a podcast done, and you over there.
I've been watch so much 70s porn.
Right.
I didn't know how accurate I was. I got to think about I was dead ass with that.
Listen, if you guys have not listened to the podcast called The Willing Sex Addict, you need to pause this one. Pause this one, go back and listen to that one, and then hit play on this one, because trust me, the two, 1 and 1 will make 2.
Right. So say it again, because I was laughing over top of you. Say what you just said again, because I know what you were saying. Right?
So if you guys have not listened to the podcast called The Willing Sex Addict, pause this one right now. In the middle of DK's girlish giggles, pause it.
Did you say girlish?
I did.
I stand up to pee. My aim may not be straight. You know what I mean? I clean the bathroom a lot, but I stand up to pee. I'm offended.
Bless God for Clorox wipes. Anyway, if y'all have not listened to The Willing Sex Addict, pause this one.
Giggles.
Yep. In between his girlish giggles and now his offensiveness, because I called it girlish. Pause this one, go listen to that one, and then come back to this one. And it all makes sense. That whole waka 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 sound like the baby Muppets right now that I think about that too. Will all make sense.
We think about it. The Muppets was in the 70s too, right?
Right. They were all
right. Exactly. One producer. So it was the same producer. The dude that produced the Muppets produces like a large variety of porn. Jim Henson, I don't want to talk about Jim Henson. It's a good dude. God bless the rest of that. I will not.
Don't make this sacrilegious. Don't do that.
Right. I'm not. I'm letting it rock out.
Jim, what's his name? Henderson or Henderson? Yeah, Jim Henderson. Jim Henson to Ron Jeremy.
What? Oh, the hedgehog? The original hedgehog?
Oh Lord, where's Sonic when you need him? Where's Sonic and Sega when you need them?
This is crazy. Like, remember Cool J? LL Cool J say, it was a line that really threw people off. It was walk like a panther, something like a panther. He said your mama's so bad I was suck on my own dick. Like some dumb shit like that, right? And so the first time and I know I'm about to gross somebody out, I don't mean to, but the first time I ever seen that act was by the hedgehog. I'm like, I don't believe, why would you even want to? Like, why would you even put the courage in your back to even, I guess the benefits of being single and trying shit. Like some things you shouldn't try, and I guess that's one of them. But I digress.
As far as LL Cool J goes, sucker MCs really make me sick. I'm so bad I suck my own.
Oh, right. And he got that from the hedgehog, because the hedgehog was, he was squatty and had strong cheekbones.
However y'all removing ribs to handle y'all own business.
Why would you want to? I mean,
that's a real thing. Marilyn Manson had that done. He had ribs removed so he could suck himself off.
Really?
Yes.
I mean,
things you did not know that I knew, right?
It's no. It's certain things I don't like. And I'm not knocking the hustle, so I don't need you judging. Whatever floats your boat, whatever gets you through life, whatever puts a smile to your face, whatever have you walking on air. Do that shit. Do that shit. Do it well.
Is that where Walking on Sunshine came from?
If you're able to give your own self relationship, what's the use with I don't need a relationship. Like what? Like you're not gonna come see me? What? I can do this shit myself. Yes, I'm pretty sure that would be have your ass walking on sunshine.
Oh, you're not gonna do the whoa whoa whoa, or was that what's coming? Oh. Listen, we might need to rename the podcast because where we were supposed to go, where we keep going.
You have to understand. Either way,
far fetched. They're so far fetched.
We're good. I promise you, people, we're going to get into a serious. I'm doing the quotation marks. You can't see me because it's not being video recorded. We're going to do a serious podcast. But before you get into the actual serious side of the podcast, right? So last night, was at the dinner table and eating, scrolling on my phone. And my wife joined me, and then she brought up something. I need help with this. I seriously need help with this podcast, listeners, and you too, Karen. You can chime in and let me know. Was I bugging or was my wife tripping? And so here's the scenario. This would happen. So I told my daughter MJ, because we don't know what's going on with COVID-19. We pray that school resumes, we get back to some normalcy for the kids' sake. But I did tell her, all you need to know to be successful in life, right? Like I said, you got the basics down. You can read, you can write, you're great at math. Of course, life will teach you other things that will get you by. And so me and my wife had a very intense, heated discussion on why I shouldn't say that, why that could, pardon me, why that could cause problems when she does resume school. And I'm telling her you don't really need what they tell you that you need to get through life, right? Because school itself, and this is my opinion, and then I'll tell you what she said, and this is where the conflict is. And I want people to let me know whether was I bugging or was she tripping. So I believe that school just gives you a lot of stuff to remember, right? But it doesn't give you practical stuff that you can go out and use. They give you stuff you remember, history, like unless you're a historian, how does that factor into your life, right? So you get the basics down and you're great with and it sounds crazy, right? But all you pretty much need is the basics. You need to know how to read, right? You need to do basic math, right? And all the other stuff that you believe that you do, you actually have at your smartphone and or tablet, the wealth of information that will get you from being an employer to an entrepreneur. And no, this is not this podcast. And so she was like, but you're stifling her in so many other areas. And then she went on to name, history, social studies. And I'm like, I was racking my brain last night trying to figure out how do you apply those things that you're remembering just for remembrance sake into the real world? Think about it, when you go to college, right? You may go in there for one major, but you got to take all these other classes that has nothing to do with your major. Henceforth, you're going to college because it's nothing about money. So podcast, I need y'all to let me know, was I bugging, by letting my daughter know? And I didn't mean that for her not to go to school and do her best, right? But I was letting her know that, don't be, lulled into a false sense of security that the only route you can go in life is in school. You can be a self-made millionaire, you can be a self-made billionaire, and school, really doesn't play a major part into that. It's all about drive, dedication, and you wanting to learn. And I think, me personally, I think that stems from the home more so than anything else. Kids, they emulate what they see. They imitate what they see. So they see what you're doing. So if they see you bullshitting, having a marathon of Netflix, they're going to watch their favorite shows back. They're going to binge watch because why? They see you do it. But if they constantly see you working, if they constantly see you earning money outside of your 9 to 5, then that becomes an option for them. So, Karen, you want to give me, your sense on that? You don't have to be biased.
No, I have no qualms about this one. So there's two things. So first off, to help DK get out the doghouse, text 202-715-1645 with your answer. Is he bugging or is he justified? If you don't feel like texting us to that number, you can always send it to askdk@nlpublishing.com, enelpublishing.com. You can also email him your questions, comments about the podcast, about things we talk about, things you want us to talk about, which you guys seem to be doing a lot of, is what y'all want us to talk about. Again, askdk@nlpublishing.com. To follow us on social media, please look for the show notes. And you can follow me, the podcast, The Lovable Asshole DK Walker, on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, wherever you want to find us, you shall find us. So
yeah, just look at the show notes.
Just look in the show notes. Also, while you're in the show notes, make sure you're liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, and, let somebody know that, hey, I think these two are nut jobs, but, at least give them some basis for our insanity. So I'm going to say you weren't tripping. So, and the reason I'm going to say this is not because I would just want, podcasting rates or to be on Nikki's bad side. But I had this conversation the other day. So my issue is we send our kids to school to learn history, math, and all these kind of things, but does not set them up for success. It does not set them up for the things that they really need. Kids need to know, and when they're in high school, money management. You're not teaching that. They need to know how to budget. How do you, pay rent and lights and gas and groceries and all those kind of things? Those are things we don't teach them. If they do make it, I feel like sports players who are going to go to school on scholarship, you're not setting them up to go live on a college campus and know how to, maneuver on a meal plan and things that they're going to need and suits and ties. We've heard so many stories, where a kid gets, busted for boosting a suit or doing this or doing that because we don't teach them how to move in life. Second of all, I'm one of those parents who have what we call like a backup plan. My parents bought me one. I bought my kids one. I'm going to continue to buy one until they don't make them anymore. But it's called the Black History Book. The Black History Book is, since basically the world began till present day, it is just strictly Black history. And I feel that because we only get a month that has the shortest days, 28 days, which is in February, that my kids are not learning enough. They need to know who they are to see where they're going and what they can be. So I need you to know that this is what we created. This is what we invented. This is our contribution to the world, not what they tell you, not what you see on television. So I'm all for the kids going to school full time. Yes, learn your, basics and all those kind of things. But do I think it's necessary? No. I think they learn more from what they see and what we teach them about who they are than what they're going to get from somebody else's textbook, period.
Facts. That's a poor representation of them anyway.
It is. Facts. And then they go to college and then you wonder why they, kids go, they call it girls gone wild or, whatever they call it for the boys, but it's really not. You finally see your representation. You finally see you in more hues than you've ever even imagined. You get world experiences. When I went to college, I didn't really know anything about, Middle Eastern culture. I didn't know anything about, Africans. And I knew what I was told, but I didn't know what I know now.
Right.
And so it's important. I still am not 100% about sending your kids to school, to college, because you starting your kids, literally when you send your kids to college, you are putting yourself and them in debt right off the bat.
Yep. Unless they got a full ride. This is what you're actually.
Full ride. But the thing is, the experiences they get for life, is something that you can't buy. So it's a catch-22. Right. It's a real catch-22. Do I send you? And you get the education that they're going, it's basically a repeat of the last 4 years, your whole career in school. Or do I send you and just pay for you to have this experience that you really can get in life, but I want you to have it now so you understand when you go into workforces, that there's other cultures and this is how they behave and this is what they do.
So my bad for cutting you off. So that's the reason why, most people send their kids abroad. They get in certain age, they travel, they go hit, these places, and that gives them it gives them a view outside of what they grew up. They get to interact with other races, religions, and cultures, right? And then you're not in debt. So a trip might run you maybe $30K, right? Cool, not $30K, but you're done. Come on back. We're going to figure it out once you get back, right? But you talking about you hundreds of thousands of dollars and whatnot, and you get out of college, and then what you went to college for is not even an option now. And so you right next to me behind the trash truck. Talking about I went to college. Well, I didn't. We make the same pay. Anyway.
Right. 7 years of experience for the schooling you just went through. It's I just feel like I've been through boot camp for 5 years, and now I need experience. And like, it's the rat race never ends. That's all I can say about college.
Right. So therefore, right. So with that being said, the rat race never ends. So parents, if you got kids out there, you have to, put them in position to construct their own maze. Because like life is going to do what life is going to do. So your job is to teach your kids, y'all got options. You don't have to be 9 to 5. You don't have to be these things. You can settle on your own path and earn crazy money doing so. But this is not what this podcast is about.
Nope.
I would just, I just need to find out, was I bugging or was my wife tripping? So I'm pretty sure, when she hears this, I'll probably be recovering from wounds and scars and things of this nature, but it is what it is. So Karen, you want to talk about what this podcast actually is about?
Absolutely. So I saw this meme, and you and I discussed this before. And so now I want to bring it to I should say we want to bring this to the listeners, because, this isn't a solo project.
I don't feel that way sometimes. I feel as though that every time I'm on the podcast, I'm auditioning for my job. I promise you. Like there's always a replacement in the wings.
So listen, I can put a pink slip in your locker if it makes you feel better.
As long as you got severance pay, I'm not tripping.
We'll work something out. We'll have your people talk to my people. So the meme goes on to say that you cannot make a person happy. You can make a person smile. You can make a person feel good. You can make a person laugh. But whether or not a person is happy is deeply and totally, utterly out of your control. Every person is responsible for his or her happiness. No one else can do that for you. And that is by one of our favorites, DK, Miss Jada Pickett Smith.
Right. That's where Mama gets her middle name from. So, I rock out with her, to say the least. I'm in total agreement with that, So there's a saying going around: happy wife, happy life. Like, if that's not some stir-fried bullshit, if that's not my baby, my youngest, she has rules. She has 8 rules. One of those rules is you're responsible for your own happiness. You're responsible. I'm not. So if you're around the house bored, you need to go do something that's going to make you happy. You can't look to daddy like, daddy, I want to get out the house. Daddy, I want to, no. You need to take ownership of your life right now, right? She's nothing but 10. And so it was a bumpy period because she's had these rules, in her life since she's 4. So we sat down and discussed each one, and she's memorized them. And what happens is when she finds herself in a pickle, I'll have her run through. And once she stops, I'll have her stop on the rule that applies to whatever, pickle that she's in, and then we'll talk about it, right? But one of the rules that I made sure that she adheres to is that nobody, not me, not mommy, not the dog, not her friends, not her grandmothers, not her uncles, not her cousins, she alone is responsible for her happiness. And so you probably listen what? Okay, we're talking about a 10-year-old kid. So how does this go to an adult female? And a male for that case, right? But more so for a female. This is what our aim is. And so where that stems from is women think that their significant other or their person that's pursuing them supposed to make them happy. So what happens if this person has a bad day? What happens if this person has a lot going on? What happens if this person has things going on in their life and it's a long-term thing? That means you're giving them all of your power. That to me don't even make no sense. So like what Jada said, no. You can come to my party of happiness, but you're not responsible for it. That means when you're in a bad mood, when a dark cloud is over your head, that's you. I'm gonna let you work through your work through, let you go through your go through. But over here, I'm still walking on sunshine. Shout out to Ron Jeremy, by the way.
Not Ron Jeremy of all people. This is my whole fallacy with this. I agree with what you're saying, but here's my fallacy with society is that we are taught as women to look for your better half. And it's such a crock of shit.
A crock.
Because a crock of shit. Where in the hell does it say that I came out of the womb as a half, incomplete? The Bible teaches about 7 being the number of completeness. It never said that whether I was 7 or 77, but it never says anywhere in there that I come out of the womb incomplete or I'm it to search for something that completes me. No, I'm supposed to work on my completeness. I'm supposed to work on me, but I'm not half looking for my whole. I have to come to you whole and complete and love myself and be happy with myself for a relationship to work, whether it's a relationship, a partnership, a business relationship, whatever type of relationship it is. You can't be looking for somebody else to fulfill who you are. Because my thing is, what happens when you evolve? So here I am, half looking for my whole. You complete this or you make me happy right now. But when I evolve and I no longer need you, what we gonna do?
Oh, somebody ain't walking on sunshine no more.
Okay. Because now you still where I met you, I'm going to the next level. And now we are two battering rams, button heads because you want to go left and I want to go right. So
Right.
The fallacy that we're taught is you're supposed to be looking for your better half. No, you should be 100. You always say keep it a buck. Keep it 100.
Keep it a buck.
Right. So if I'm whole, what do I look like looking for somebody who's happy? And here's the other thing that trips me out is when, you hear more women say it than I hear guys say it. But I'm looking for my better half. Well, what if he ain't half? What if he 3/4?
Or what if he's whole? And if he's whole, 9 times out of 10, think about it, right? So women, you're looking for your, pardon me, your better half. And say that you find the 4-leaf clover and you find a whole man. Newsflash, a whole man don't want a half a woman. We don't want no baggage. Like, okay, let me be realistic. People have issues, right? So nobody's perfect. And that's just it. You're whole women. I'm talking to women specifically. Women, you're whole even with your flaws. And see that, once again, society and the media playing upon your psyche, having you believe you're less than because you got issues, whether they may be body issues, whether they may be emotional issues, whether they may be money management issues. Like you feel as though like once I get with my better half, then he's going to fix those issues. But my question to you is, why would you even give that person so much power?
Right.
Like that scares me, man. Look, I walk in the house, and one thing I'm really good at, I'm great at reading a room. I walk into any room and I can tell you, okay, this is the vibe. Vibe gonna hit me. I'm gonna rock out to it. Boom. So I walk into my house, come upstairs, and whatnot. The first voice I hear is my daughter. Daddy, you home? I'm like, okay, she gonna want something 5 minutes later. This is the butter up. Not a problem. So I'll hug, play, whatever case may be. Cool, not a problem. I look over to my wife. Now, she might hit me with a, hey, babe. Okay, cool. She's in the middle. If the voice is a little higher, that means she's happy. If I walk in the house, she says nothing, that means she's going through whatever her go-through is. Do I stop it and indulge? And people going to think you're wrong for not asking what's bothering you. It's not my concern what's bothering her. Now, if she wants to talk about it, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to give her my undivided attention. But I'm not going to invite myself to whatever's going on in her life. Does that mean I'm inconsiderate? No. Because if I'm walking on sunshine, right, I'm not going to let nobody, whether it be my daughter, whether it be my wife, whether it be my mother calling, and I love my mother to life, whether it be my brother, whether it be my little brother, whether it be Karen. If I'm already walking on sunshine, I'll be damned if I'm going to invite you in. You come in with an umbrella and rain is right behind you. You done lost your damn mind. Please kick rocks.
And the other thing, too, is that how a man is programmed is to fix. So as a woman, if you go tell him, here, let me back up. So here's my thing. I feel like everybody needs space. I feel like if you're not smart enough as an individual to take that 15, 20 minutes to yourself to decompress when you get off work, then you have done yourself a disservice. Like when I get home, I physically sit in my car, whether I'm on the phone talking to somebody else, listening to music, whatever I got to do, I give myself permission to take 15 minutes to bitch complain about my day to whomever, or if I just got to tell it to the universe, get it out of my system because I don't want to give that energy to my family. Now, when I come home, it could be my mom could still be up, or when the kids are here, both kids could be here. God only knows. Every day at my house is a surprise. I said this during the summer, is that I feel like now I bought a house for the kids to have a party or to be here all the time, which is fine. I'm not knocking their hustle, but I'm like, why are y'all here? We in the middle of a pandemic. Go home. I love it, but what do you want for nothing is like my dad used to say, what you want for nothing? But you owe it to yourself to decompress, because that's not, whatever happens at work is not your kids, not your spouse, not your significant other's fault. They don't deserve that energy. And you just need to let it go. Like when I walk out of the door of the ER for the final time that night, whatever happens stays there, stays on their property. I get in the car, I talk to whomever, I respond to emails, text messages, at stoplights, and, just kind of get me back to walking on sunshine. When I come home, I then have a responsibility to see, not, and I don't want to say responsibility, but, I say, hey, good morning, good night, whatever time of day it is, and see what everybody is on. But when I'm in a relationship and I come in with, oh, you would never guess what such that puts a man into fix it mode because I'm upset. I came in on some crazy energy and he's like, okay, I need her back to 100, but not on 100. And there's a difference.
So what's the difference? Oh, thank you. Oh, whoa, damn, we clicking.
Right,
we might, we clicking.
For me, at 100, I have to be in my happy space. I want to come in, hey, babe, how was your day? Did you eat? We're going to do the usual rah stuff. Like, we're going to check the boxes. I asked about your day. You asked about mine. You want to talk about the bills. You want to talk about what you watch on Netflix. How, whatever it is, that couples go through. Just to, that little banter that you go back and forth with, discuss maybe what you're going to do for the weekend or whatever. But if I come in...
Much ado about nothing?
Right. It's the usual small talk that couples have when you first get home. You want to go take a shower, eat, but you still want to be considerate of their feelings. Not that I'm going to walk past you and be like, and not say nothing.
Well, see, you're good because, like, if the vibe hit me and hold that thought, put a pin in that, right? But don't lose your train of thought where you was going to. But if I come in my house and I know it sounds heartless, but I've learned that I can't save the world. And what Kern said, what Kern said a couple of seconds ago about as soon as you tell a male and we're wired to fix it. And so I had to, and it's something I have to be in the moment not to do. You can't come to me with a problem and then I don't go into A, B, C, D, call F, see what's up with G, and see if H going to handle and help you with that. And then so in my mind, that should have lighten your load. It should have made your mood livelier because because I'm wired that way. And then what happens is they'll look at you like, what? I don't want you to solve my problems. I don't want you to play Captain Save or fill in the blank if you don't love them. I don't want you to do that. I just want to vent, which reminds me of White Men Can't Jump. There's a great scene in it. And, I reference all my friends and family know I forever reference this one scene in the movie. It was when Woody Harrelson was in the bed with Rosie Perez, and then Rosie wakes my man Woody up and bae. And then he finally, what? And she was like, I'm thirsty. So he looked at her like, he gets up out of bed, go gets her a glass of water. He hands her the water. She takes the water from him. And then she was like, just because I said I was thirsty does not mean I want you to solve my problems. I said I was thirsty I said I was thirsty and it was a metaphor. So my man Woody politely takes the water out of her hand and throws it in her face.
Sure did.
Favorite part of the goddamn movie. Right. So it substantiates exactly what Karen said. Men are wired to fix said problem. You thirsty, let me get your glass of water. First of all, I'm not here to be in tune to, I'm just speaking, just because I want to vent. So what I do, I have to stay in the moment. I come home from work. I see the vibe. Like, I'm missing me because I'm walking on sunshine. I'm going to stay as high as because I'm more productive when I'm walking on sunshine. I'm more productive. And that to me is uber valuable. Nobody steals my joy. Nobody right. But when you bring it to me, I have to be like, okay, just listen. Do not give no unless she asks. And it's hard because I'm wired to ABC that situation. I'm wired to quarterback that situation. I'm wired to fix that situation. So I have to be in the moment. Just listen. Right. Cool. I let her go ahead. Then I go ahead and try my best to segue the conversation if she's done. You know what I mean? I keep eye contact, let you know I'm really into what you're saying, right? So cool, not a problem. So cool. If I come back and then you bring that same subject to me, I'm going to fix it. I'm going to throw my 2 cents in it because I gave you your 5, 10, 15, 20. 30. I gave you whatever time that you needed to go ahead and have your moment to use me as a sounding board. Now you're asking me to go against how I am designed. Mm-hmm. If you mad at the way I'm designed, go take it up with God. I didn't make me, right? I didn't. Yeah, this is the way men are. We're designed to. There's a problem. A half decent man. Let me say that, right? Some people just don't even give a shit. But that's for another podcast. So look, I am built and designed to fix said problem, right? That's another one of the rules with my daughters, like be a problem solver, not a problem. So, and then I'm asking her to actually go against because she'll vent, but I'm like, and then they get someone like, okay, cool. So I'm still your father. Like, okay, but how do we solve said problem? And then she'll walk it back and then she'll get to the solution. I'm good. So I've done whoever her future boyfriend / husband or whatever may be. I did him a huge favor. Matter of fact, he owed me dinner because she'll be, by the grace of God, by the time she's old enough to indulge into boys or young men, should I say, to be like, okay, I can solve this problem. I don't have to come to you. I can discuss with whomever how I got to said solution, but I'm not going to come to you with a problem with no solution. And so that's hard for men to do, but women got to understand that a man can only listen for so long before he's like, let me fix it. And then if you're not going to let me fix it, then call your girlfriend. Cause like I stand up to pee.
We hope that you can still.
that was your that was your second shot.
It was not. It was not.
It was the first one. I was the girly joint. And now you hope that I stand up to pee. Like really?
Listen,
the abuse I take for the podcast, the abuse that I take for the podcast,
right?
It's terrible
because it's not a two-way street, right?
What's not a two-way street?
The shots are not a two-way street.
This podcast, I don't know what happened in the past.
I'm happy you clarified that sentence with this.
I don't know what I can't. Yesterday is yesterday. I can do nothing about yesterday. So tomorrow is a promise unfulfilled, right? Think about it, tomorrow's on nobody's calendar. Like I'm gonna do it tomorrow. Like, okay, like Annie, tomorrow's always a day away. Speak to me what I've done now. I've yet to take no shots, but because I love you, because you have a special place in my heart, I'm gonna let you make it. But be warned.
Yes, sir.
Walking on sunshine. Sure. Whoa. And I'm starting to feel good.
Oh Lord, don't do that.
What?
Don't do that. But back to this being on 100 and being 100. Like you said, a man is programmed to solve it. And I think what women we have to understand is we have to learn how to, like you're teaching MJ, to better navigate our own stuff. So if I come in on 100, and now mind you, he been home chilling, done watched the game, played the game, did whatever he did while I was away. And I come in, rah. He's gonna be like, whoa, like, I need my piece back. Like you done came in and disturbed the whole groove and the vibe. Like it was cool before you got here. Now, if them bras that made you mad, go back and deal with that. That didn't come home, but don't bring that here because his innate reaction is, I'm going to protect what's mine. So me being his, he's gonna be like, no, what happened? Who did what? Who said what? Oh no, what we not gonna do? And then he's gonna be like, oh, it ain't that serious. I ain't got to get riled up, but can you please tell her to shut the hell up, do whatever. Then he goes into solving mode, and I might not need that. But equally as what we need to say that too, like, listen, I just need you to listen to me, Yvette. I don't need you to say anything. Just say, yes, dear, nod your head, clear your throat, do something. Just let me know that you're actively listening. You ain't got to respond. Like exactly. You tell me all the time, DK.
Lie to him. Lie. Keep eye contact as you lie.
You listen to respond, not to understand. And you always say, I need to work on my listening to understand, not to respond. So, now that I've gotten what that means, I'm like, listen, what I'm about to tell you does not need your reaction. I don't need you to solve this. I just need you to listen to this. That's all. That's it.
Right. And so, like, you got to be really careful of what you give a person, ownership of. And your happiness definitely, like love. I don't give, like, love is mine. Like, there's a standard. Like, people will come substandard in your life if you allow them to. Like, if you allow the bullshit, then they're going to give you bullshit. But if you raise the bar, if you keep your standard, if your standard is non-negotiable, then you're forcing them to meet that. And so when like love, happiness, you can't give people the control of that. Like, that means they can toy with your emotions when they get ready. They can have you jumping through hoops when they get ready. And you would think, oh, they would never do that because they love me. But once again, why would you even give them the option?
Right. And
like, you gotta be out your dog. Like, what? Like, so I tell MJ, so she really doesn't understand why it's so important for her to be in charge of her happiness, but she's getting there. Like, it has nothing even to do with you. Like, it's not even with a relationship aspect, right? Like, let's move it off of that. Cause you could be thinking that, okay, I need to go get my girlfriends. We about to go hit the club. And then one after one, your girlfriends cancel on you. And now because you was all geeked up, you know what I mean? To go out to the club, go out to wherever and do whatever, you know what I mean? But all your girlfriends flaked on you because you gave them all your happiness. And what happens is the club didn't close, the movie didn't close, Starbucks. I mean, we're talking about COVID-19, by the way, people. So please don't take this out of context. But all those places are still open. So why couldn't you go and still have the time of your life by yourself? Because you've attached your happiness. Like, I got to do this with, like, no. You got to do that with you. Man, the best, The best thing anybody can do from themselves is to learn themselves and to learn themselves and love what they've learned, no matter if it's good, bad, and indifferent, because it's you. Like, and that's a beautiful thing. So, like, nah, you don't, man. Guard your happiness like you guard your heart with your life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And the thing of it is again, and I think the thing that we don't really think about when we get in relationships is what happens when that person dies. Then what? Are you going to stop living because the person that you put in charge of you is now gone? Because when you give that much control to somebody else, like you really aren't living. Like when you give that much control to somebody else, you are being dictated by somebody else's excuse me, theories and ideals and expectations versus it being two people, trying to get to a common place in love and life.
Facts.
And why
So
would you want to live like that?
I think people are they're taught that way. They're taught because a couple of things that women need to go ahead and, get rid of, ASAP. The first thing is that, a man completes you. A man is responsible for your happiness. A happy wife means a happy life. Like what? Like, please, women, if your mother, like if you listen and your mother's telling you that, look at your mother and be like, Mom, you're dated. Or if your auntie is telling you that, tell your aunt she dated. If your grandmother telling you that, then tell her that she's dated. And that's part of the bullshit that who's ever ring you leave that at the door because it's dated. It's out. It doesn't work. It actually didn't work for them, but being as though they believe like whatever's been passed down, I'm going to pass it to you. So, but you have to draw the line in the sand and be like, no, I see how you and dad or you and whomever or you and my uncle, you'll interact. And that interaction is not a good place because you're looking to him to do these things for you when you're more than capable of doing those things for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But you're giving that to him to do. And then on the cool, you're being uber selfish if you think about it, right? You would think that that person is doing, if in capital letters, bold, underline, if he's a good person, you would think that they're doing enough. So why would you want to give them the monumental task of your happiness too? Do you know how large that is? Do you know how you can't even define that? Like what may be making you happy right now may not be making you happy in the future. So I got to relearn that all over again. One minute it may be quality time. The next minute may be bomb ass sex. The next minute it may be great conversation. The next minute you may become a foodie. You want to eat out all the time. You might want to go shopping, right? You might want to do all these doggone things. So I got to keep adapting. So aren't you taking? He can't be the best him to you because you having him be the best you to you. That went over somebody's head. Like I ain't even gonna repeat it. I just knock the podcast back a little bit and then listen again what I said. It's all right though. Like I promise you, it's all right. You got to put yourself like it should be a pecking order in your life, right? It should be this is the peck. It's a 2-person pecking order in your life. I'm gonna help somebody, right? So we're not just gonna sit here and because I'm fat and short, so I can't wax deep. I can wax wide. So hear me, right? It should be a 2-person pecking order in your life. It should be God and you. I didn't name nobody else. I didn't name your husband. I didn't name your kids. I didn't name your bestie. I did God and you. What are we talking about? Like that's all you need. And I really don't care what your religion is. I don't even care if you got a religion. I don't even care if you do believe, right? But in other words, nobody, no human being should come before you in anything in life.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds selfish, right? We got a podcast, selfish versus selfish. We're going to be like, it won't be this podcast. It won't be. But, somebody lies to you. Being selfish is not a bad thing, right? Excuse me, let me go ahead and clean it up. Being a certain kind of selfish is not a bad thing.
So this is where we wrap it up for one time for the one time.
One time for the one time.
One time for the one time.
One time for the one time. You silly. But before we wrap it up, you have a message for the people, like, because we need them to do a couple of things for us. We need them to
like, subscribe, share. Send all your questions to askdk@nlpublishing.com. You can find us on social media via our show notes. You guys have been so faithful in following us and asking us questions, liking stuff. Listen, I've had some really good conversations. I've been like screenshotting them to DK. Like, listen, when I was up at the middle of the night, look what this person said back on Facebook or Instagram, depending on where you guys find us. And so I thank you. I've said this week after week, you guys can be anywhere doing anything. And yet week after week after week, y'all come and support us. Y'all rock with us. And you guys really show us, you know, where my feet has not gone, my voice has. And that is very important to me. I'm very, very thrilled, overwhelmed with joy about that. I really am living my best life right now. And it's only going to get better from here for me and DK. So we appreciate all of you. But this is where we ask DK Walker to wrap up our show with our Daily Love Jones.
Appreciate you. Yeah. So earlier in the podcast, we was having fun about Ron Jeremy and walking on sunshine, right? So let me get, you know, serious, and I won't be too long because I believe that, you know, towards the end of the podcast, you know, we got really serious and we said a lot of things that, you know, if applied could really help someone. But what I want someone to do, let me be specific, what I want the female listeners to do, right? Because y'all more so prone to give away your happiness to other people. I want you to be intentional with your actions towards yourself. I want you to be intentional with your happiness. I want you to do things solely for the benefit of you, right? I don't want you to do something and okay, what I'm doing is going to not only make me happy, but the kids going to enjoy it too. Man, damn the kids. I don't want you to do something and, you know, your hubby is going to think that you look cute in you know, nice little summer dress, right? Because summer is definitely here now. Man, damn hubby. Like, rock that dress for you. Matter of fact, rock that dress for you. Make sure you shave your legs though. So, but whatever you do, just make sure you're doing all these things for you to enhance your happiness. For you. Nobody else. Because you owe nobody else. Like, think about it, women. You wear enough hats. You have to be mother. You have to be wife. You have to be bestie. You got to be co-worker. You got to be the chef. You got to be the maid. You got to be, and if you're handy, you got to be the handy person, right? And you got to manage everybody's schedule within your household. So I understand how easy it would be to give somebody else your happiness. So let me help you out. I'm gonna give you something practical. All the stuff I named that you do within your household, that's what you give people in your household to do, to lighten your load so you can go ahead and take back control of your happiness. Love you more than anybody else. And in turn, you'll be able to love them better.
I like that. Be intentional. Be intentional about your happiness. That's a whole nother podcast in itself. I'm ready for that one. Well, this is your girl, that Thorny Chick, Karen KK Rose, alongside my co-host, the lovable asshole, DK Walker. DK, tell the people bye-bye.
Walking on sunshine.
No, it's not how we going out. We're going out with Al Green, love and happiness. If we gonna do it right.
Love and happiness. Make you want to do wrong. Wow.
Make it do right.
Hey. Love and happiness. Yo, man, look. No matter, like,
oh Lord, that puberty hit.
Say again?
The puberty hit. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. We will see you on the next podcast.
I had something to tell the people. You gonna cut? I wasn't done. And I control the button over here, by the way, when you get done, Missy. So all jokes aside, man, I had a really great time with this podcast, man. You know, I'm sorry if I hurt somebody's feelings by my singing, but that just shows you how comfortable I feel with my listeners. As my wonderful co-host has said, man, y'all can rock out with anybody else, but y'all taking the time out to rock out with us. And all bullshit aside, that means a lot. Right? That truly means a lot. So with that being said, thank you. I'm not even going to say goodbye. I'm going to say see you next week. Same bat time. I'm not going to say none of that shit. I'm just going to say thank you. Greatly appreciated.
This is the Love Podcast. That is all, folks. We will see you next week.
This episode of the Love Is Podcast has ended. But please be sure to subscribe for more great content on sex, entrepreneurship, life, love, and how to get through the BS of it all. And don't forget to rate and leave a review so we can continue to bring more of that thorny chick, Karen KK Rose, and, dare I say, the lovable a-hole, Mr. DK Walker. See you on the next podcast.